Okay, friends, summer is around the corner, and it sounds relaxing until the routines disappear. This is really common in, especially with families who have the fall to late spring schedule. There's a routine, there's a pattern. These routines also fall apart during vacation breaks. So, this could be something also to refer back to for vacation. This is super normal. Remember that sometimes more togetherness and less structure can equal more opportunity for stress. So, summer isn't just a logistic shift, though, it's a relational shift. And how do we prepare in a way that protects connection, not just our calendars? So, first, we're going to talk about some of our invisible stressors. Some common summer pressures, especially for couples with children, would be childcare gaps. School, while it is important for education, also does fill a childcare gap. So, what does it look like to have your child out of school while maybe you are still working? Camps, are you toting a kid back and forth to camp instead of just getting them on the bus or sending them off to school? Trips for vacation, and sometimes uneven workloads. Depending on your industry or your partner's industry, you may have different shifts in workload through the summer. The loss of the school routine also leads to more decision fatigue for the person who typically organizes that, the person who's getting kids together, and sometimes for kids themselves. So remember that stress spills into relationships when it's unspoken. When we name it and we talk about it, we explore it, we experience it less, that stress feeling. So I'd like you to think about what feels uncertain or heavy about this summer coming up. Summer can be an ideal time to create shared meaning. So remember that when we're looking at this through a Gottman lens, strong relationships build shared meaning, not just shared logic. So as a family, you can ask, okay, what kind of summer do we want to have as a family? What matters most to us? Is it rest or adventure or flexibility or just spending time together? You want to identify values, not just plans. So think of things like fun or balance or presence as values, not just we're going to go to the Cape or we're going to visit Bounce House USA. Um, and then let your values guide decisions when things start to get messy. Let them be like your North Star to get you where you're going, even if you don't have everything mapped out. Over the summer, it is very helpful to plan for both structure and flexibility. Families need both. Kind of enough structure to reduce that feeling of chaos and honestly to keep parents feeling a little grounded because even when kids have less structure, often work keeps you in structure. And also enough flexibility to enjoy the season, right? This is a time where you are actually only managing one set of schedules, the adult schedule. The kid schedule is a lot more flexible. So it does allow for more free time and more opportunity. So take some practical steps. Map out the knowns. What are the things you know are happening already? Camps, travel, your work schedule, things like that. And then look at some maybe pressure points early. Where in this summer might it feel like we're stretched a little thin? Just looking what you already have scheduled, because honestly, if you're sending your kid to any camp, you already have that scheduled. You want to build in some backup plans for things like childcare um, or pet coverage, things like that. And also, you want to build in some protected downtime. Remember, not every day needs to be action packed. Maybe we can have some weekends where nothing is scheduled. And if somebody proposes something, the nothing scheduled time gets protected. almost in the same way as, oh, we're not going to cancel our vacation to X, Y, and Z because we have all this stuff scheduled. Same thing when it's downtime. Hold it in a high priority. This can also be a great time for the couple to start weekly State of the Union check-ins. What's working, what needs adjusting? Because this is a time where that's really going to be helpful. There are a lot more moving parts than in your regular routine, um, fall, winter. The other thing I want to talk about just a little bit is whoever is the holder of the mental load, the invisible labor, that often increases in summer. Planning, coordinating, anticipating needs. This actually is really normal to happen, and it can be a source of resentment if it's not addressed. So, a conversation to have maybe in your State of the Union when you're, sitting together and talking about what's going well and what's not. Each of you asking, what's on your plate that I may not see? What would feel more balanced? Because let's face it, if it's invisible labor, that means one of us or both of us is not seeing what our partner is doing. So bringing that into awareness, what's on your plate that I might not see, can help, one, to reduce resentment, and two, to help you address it as a couple. And if nothing else, at least it gets seen that you're doing that thing. When we do get stressed, I'm going to encourage you to turn towards each other's stress, not away from it. These small moments of saying, hey, I'm here for you. I'm going to listen to the thing that's stressed without offering my advice and fixing it and everything. Those small moments of responsiveness matter to connection and to trust. So summer gives you lots of opportunities to practice that. Speaking of that, expect friction, but maybe consider responding differently. Summer does not equal conflict-free. Remember, more time together equals more opportunities, potentially for stress and tension. So use your tools, gentle your tone, use a softened startup, use humor as a repair attempt. Like, hey, this isn't going great. Can we reset this? Let's try this again. Make a little room for your own discomfort. You might feel irritation or overwhelm or have some unmet expectations. Notice how you're feeling and how you're reacting to that. How are you putting that out to others? And is that how you want to show up? Or could you, for example, if I have an unmet expectation, I might get a little cranky. I might start passive aggressively saying things to my partner or the kids or the people I'm with. If I know that that's a tendency of mine, now is the moment to say, how do I really want to act in that situation? If this were to come up, what could be a different way for me to do that? So that I've already thought about it before I'm in the head spin, right? It's already in the soup here. And going back to using your values as a little bit as an anchor, how do I want to treat my partner and kids right now? Or how do I want to show up here? While we're talking about expectations, let's set some realistic expectations. Let go of that idea of perfect summer. Replace it with maybe good enough or connected or flexible. Go back to what you were talking about as a family. What would you like it to look like? And say, can we do this? If these things are met, that would feel great. And some days are going to feel magical and some days are going to feel like chaos. So that's normal. Let's see if we can roll with that. A smoother summer doesn't come from perfect planning. It comes from how you show up with each other. Small, intentional conversations now can prevent bigger disconnections later. So what's one conversation you could have this week to set your summer up with more clarity and care? Take care of yourselves and each other.